Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play, or lose your seat on the couch, or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Welcome again. It is the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. We are joined today by Jason Duda, comprising the 3-man booth here on a Wednesday edition. Jeff Lutz here as well. Andrew Fry back in the studio. Just a couple more days after today for Andrew.
Uh-oh.
We're going to miss him.
Did he get fired?
Max will be back.
Oh.
You knew that.
Even worse.
Lost one last night.
So? What are the consequences?
Well, Detroit gained a game on you.
Okay. They're only, 10 and a half back now? I think we'll be okay.
What are they back? Seriously.
I don't know. 10 and a half or 9 or something.
Give me 5 minutes. I'll get to it.
8, I think, might be the number.
Well,
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
I care.
10 games left. They're not catching us.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's it.
They are 8 back, but in the wild card,
They're 2.5.
they're right there.
1.5.
1.5 behind the Twins. So you did the Twins a favor last night.
Good for us.
And you might have to play the Detroit Tigers.
Half? Might have to play?
I'd be worried if I were you about playing anyone.
Well, I'm not.
What?
Why would I be worried? What's there to worry about? We're in the playoffs. We roll the ball out and we go play.
We both know you. We both know how you work. You're going to be a nervous wreck when the playoffs start. You'll be worried sick.
If it's Detroit? No.
Yes, if it's Detroit.
Absolutely not.
He'll be facing Scooble.
Not in game 1.
Game 1.
Not in game 1. He'll have already pitched in the wild card series. We might not see him until game 3, at which point, ball game. Series over.
The confidence you are trying to exhibit is as false as anything you've ever done.
I beg for the Tigers. I hope we get to play the Tigers. Or
Who
the
would
Twins.
you play right now? The winner of what series?
Twins and Astros.
Well, you'd much rather have the Twins there.
Yeah, but they don't win in the playoffs, so it's going to be Houston, most likely. But you will miss Framber and whoever their other.
Well, you don't know that.
Why would Framber not pitch in the?
You don't know that.
Why would he not pitch in the wild card series?
I don't know when these series start.
Is their manager? Trying to get fired?
Between them?
None.
This false confidence has got to go.
So you think Houston won't pitch their ace in the wild card series? That's your stance on this show.
Of course they will, but he might be ready to go
on 2 days
divisional
rest.
Series.
Well, I hope he is then on 2 days rest. I would welcome that as well. We'll bring him on.
How come you're so confident now?
Well, I'd love to face a guy on 2 days rest. That'd be awesome.
3 weeks ago, you were done. Like they're awful. They're going to lose 20 in a row, and now all of a sudden, it's a roller coaster.
They can clinch tonight, a postseason spot.
Well, of course they're in, but to act like we're in and we're just going to be so good and
you're going to be a wreck. But bring it on.
Bring them on. Who worries you in the American League?
The Yankees, Aaron Judge and Juan Soto. That's who worries me.
Yesterday you were talking down the Yankees.
I was?
Sure you were.
What'd I say?
I don't remember.
I said the rest of their lineup outside of Soto and Judge hasn't
there
been that
you go.
good.
You answered my question for me.
So what did I just say that negates that?
Well, you said you don't worry that much about their lineup outside of 2 guys.
And which 2 guys?
You just said it.
Right. Duda?
Soto and Judge.
I think I've been pretty clear about this. And the Yankees have to get past the Royals or whoever they play.
I'd say that not anyone. Maybe that's too strong. But if you quizzed 100 baseball people, okay, people who follow the game closely, how many would pick the Guardians?
I don't know.
To get to the World Series.
That's the beautiful thing about sports, though. Who somebody picks has no bearing on anything.
Well, I'm just curious. Would it be 80% Yankees?
Maybe.
Would it be 60% Yankees?
Man, I'm too old to concern myself.
20%
like
Astros?
That's the reason I got all the way off Twitter, basically, even with the Guardians account, because people get mad. You didn't put an exclamation point at the end of your recap. The Guardians only 6th in the rank. Who cares? Who cares? We'll settle this on the field.
When did you adopt this attitude of I'm above the fray?
I'm above that whiny stuff. There's no point to it. There's no need. We settle things.
Do you sense some anger here?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Where?
I just don't get it. He couldn't stand him a month ago, and now
they're still.
We're good. I mean,
they are. They're going into the playoffs.
What I don't get is
other than Soto and Judge. I mean, we're going to win the American League. It's pretty standard.
I don't think I said
got it
that.
all figured out.
I don't think I said that.
That's what you're saying without saying it.
No, not at all.
What I don't get is how he now has just washed his hands of any passion, any what it is. We'll play him.
Play him.
I've been in the playoffs a bunch, and it's nerve
It's going to
wracking.
be nerve-wracking, but we got to get through 3 rounds probably. So what's the stress about? We got to get there, first of all.
Remember that. Remember that line, what's to stress
If
about?
I don't get to the ALCS.
Please, will you promise me you'll remember that one?
If I don't get to
Andrew?
Can I say something?
Andrew, put that out.
Yeah, you're taking things, you're trying to read into things that I say, but I'll say what I mean. If I'm not in the ALCS, why do I need to worry about the ALCS? Right? If I lose in the ALDS, who cares about the ALCS? So I just got to go win 1 round, and then I got to go win another round, and then I got to go win another round. That
isn't even you.
That's what, 11 wins I got to get?
You're trying to be something you're not.
I don't think so.
And it's sad.
What do you think I am?
You're hyper. You're into it. You're, oh my gosh, what? Yeah, that's how I would be. I'm not, we get the Phillies in round 1 and let's see what we can do.
You don't get the Phillies in round 1.
I don't get anybody.
You know who you get in round 1?
Nobody. I just said it.
Palm Beach or wherever you do.
Mine was better. I don't get anybody in round 1
in round 1 of the playoffs.
Exactly. For the second year in a row.
Enjoy that. It's only 2?
Yeah.
You made the playoffs.
Made the playoffs in the previous year and got beat by the Phillies. And in game 1, I'm at a golf tournament, our League 42 golf tournament. We're up going to the 9th, and we give it up.
Yeah, remember we were watching that, dude?
We were.
Oh, you got great joy out of that, huh?
We're watching it. That's all I said.
We were watching it.
You got great joy out of that, huh?
Some joy out of it. I don't know about great.
Why would you get any joy out of it?
For this very reason right here.
Get you worked up. And
the same reason
you're
bleeding right into it.
Why would that be satisfying?
The same reason you're poking at me right now.
And you don't even, we've said this a million times.
Yeah.
You don't even have a say in this.
Could care less.
Because you don't have a team.
I'm good.
Exactly. I'm good. You're good. I go home every night. You sit there in your chair.
I do.
With your eyes rolled back in your head.
Sometimes.
What a life.
And that's it.
Hats off.
No emotional investment in anything.
Nothing.
No.
Except maybe May's tennis and May's JV soccer.
But look at you two.
But I doubt.
What about what's?
You're all fired up. Well,
I doubt.
Nothing to be fired up about
that you
over
ever make I doubt that you ever say a word at either event. I doubt.
I don't.
There you go.
I don't.
Why would he? You wouldn't want him to, right? That's against the League 42 bylaws.
Hey, way to go, Jack. Way to go, babe. Here we go, babe.
I don't see dudes doing that.
No. No. I don't think anybody should be talking to the players to say, yeah, good job. Hey, good play. That's fine. But
that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you should instruct him.
Oh, God.
But
heaven forbid, not a chance.
On the rare time, 1 in a million where somebody scores a goal.
Would you even know how?
You ought to be able to say something about it.
Yeah, good job.
Would you even know how to instruct him if you could?
Soccer?
Yeah.
Tennis?
Yeah.
No.
Not really.
Well, wait a minute now. You've seen enough soccer.
Well, I have an idea, but
you ought to have
here's
learned
the thing.
something.
I'm not going to say anything because you got the coach on the other side who he's supposed to be listening to. So there's 0 point for anybody else to say anything because now you're just confusing them. And why would you want to do that to your kid? Why would you want to tell him something if the coach is telling him one other thing?
Well, you don't do that.
All he's thinking now is, okay, I'm going to make somebody mad. Like, so you don't. You just don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
But you can accentuate what the coach is saying.
Well, yeah, you can't hear what the coach is saying. He's on the other side of the field.
I'm talking about after, like at home. The coach had a good thought there.
Yeah.
It depends.
That's gross.
That is kind of weird.
It's a little weird.
Get back to
too
Jeff.
much.
No.
You trying to get back to me?
Here's what we have planned for the show today. We're going to take a little early break because we lost a guy who's near and dear to us. John David Souther passed away. Now, that won't mean a thing to you, will it?
Well, if someone passed away, I don't like that, but I don't know the man. So.
He's a friend of the Eagles.
Okay.
And helped them very early in their existence, co-wrote some of their biggest hits, and he passed away at the age of 78. And we're going to play one of his most famous song as a solo artist coming up at about 2:16. Andrew's going to have that queued up. At 2:25, Jesse Newell from the Kansas City Star. Chiefs week, they got a big one again. They go on the road for the first time, and we'll talk to Jesse Newell about the Chiefs and their prospects Sunday in Atlanta against the Falcons team, which is, I don't think you can completely chalk that one up as a win for the Chiefs.
No, you can chalk it up as a loss. Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Atlanta coming back the other night. So never mind. Continue.
What were you about to say?
Where were you going with that?
Well, you were going to say I don't think you could chalk it up as a win
for the Chiefs,
and I thought you were going to say Atlanta, and I was going to agree with you because Philadelphia gave that one away.
Well, but I said the Chiefs before you said Atlanta.
I don't pay attention to you guys a lot.
Not very often.
I kind of pick and choose where I'm at because if not,
Well, you were looking right at me when I said it.
I get on that roller coaster ride you guys are on with your teams, and I don't like it. I like a flat road through the prairies.
Well, that's never going to happen.
Just keep it there, and I'm good. Just go. Simple.
I'm sorry, but I can't be as simple as you would like me to be.
Did you read my J.D. Souther piece on KWCH?
Did not. I don't. You got to send this stuff to me.
Well, it's out there.
I'm not going and search on KWCH for content. It needs
maybe
to be
you
out
should.
There. Do you put it on Twitter?
It's on Facebook.
Well, it needs to be out there.
It is. It's on. I put it on an Eagles message board. I put it on KWCH. I put it on Facebook. Just go read the stuff, man.
Well, I don't. You act like I'm just sitting here.
Well, you should know that
waiting for you to drop something for me to read.
If you know that J.D.
Do you
Souther,
understand what I'm saying?
I do.
If you know that J.D. Souther has passed away, you should know that also I'm going to probably pin something.
What do you know about J.D. Souther?
What don't I know about J.D. Souther?
And it's not Souther.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
It's Souther.
No, it's not.
Of course it is.
Of course it's not.
Do you know how many times I've dealt with this man?
You have not. It's J.D. Souther.
Don't you remember when he was on 30-something? Do you think they introduced him as J.D. Souther?
That's his name, so I don't know what they introduced him as.
Well, go get on YouTube and watch the intros. Maybe you'll learn something. Good grief.
Souther. Give me a break.
Souther.
No, you just said it right.
Souther.
See? It's J.D. Souther.
Anyway, we'll play his big hit coming up in a few minutes.
Why don't you tell him what it is? You're Only Lonely.
You're Only Lonely. Everybody knows that song. You'll know it the minute you hear it.
Good song.
It got to
number 10, I believe.
Number 7 on the charts. Number 1 in the adult contemporary. The year it was released in
1979.
Well, you got one. What do you have to offer right now
in this conversation about this singer?
What's his name? What do you think his name is?
I honestly don't know.
But if you had
between the two
who
of
do you think would be right about something like this?
At 2:45, pop culture with Mike Furchess. Mike's been to see a horror movie that he just loves, which isn't exactly up your.
I don't like horror movies.
Your alley.
Nope.
Not a fan.
We'll see what he has to say about all that. So you texted me the other night last week. Now, do we have a JV game tomorrow night? Did we have one yesterday?
Yeah, there was one yesterday.
How'd that go? You didn't text me.
They lost 5-3.
Uh-oh, a lot of goals.
A lot of goals.
Who'd they play?
Oh, no, they lost 2-1. Varsity was 5-3 then.
Oh, yeah, well.
And then, it's confusing because I was at a tennis tournament, so I wasn't there.
Who'd they play?
Andover.
And how'd Avery's tennis tournament go?
She won her tournament.
Well, good for her.
That was just a 4-team tournament. She did well. She's playing. I gotta give the girl props. She tore a ligament in her ankle.
Goodness. And
she's playing through it. She comes home and her leg is twice the size of the other one.
But well, she's tough. She's got
tough.
that.
I'm proud of her.
Toughness.
That's right.
You'd have missed a year with this kind of an injury.
And then we got a game tomorrow.
Who's that one against?
Well, isn't that the game you're coming to?
No, I'm coming on the 10th of October.
Oh, that's right.
I'm coming to the Mays South Showdown.
That's a big one.
I think it's Newton.
Well, look out. They'll probably clobber you.
Nice talk. Come on. Talking about the kids here. Jeez.
How mean of me. Here's Jesse Newell from the Kansas City Star, who joins us quite often, and we're very appreciative to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs. He's the beat writer for the Star. Hello, Jesse.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
It's going well. So the Chiefs are 2-0 by the skin of their teeth. 2 exciting games to open the season. Wins against Baltimore and Cincinnati. Some grumbling about how close these games have been. The mantra in the NFL is just win, and they've done that. That's the important thing, right?
Yeah, not only have they won, but they knocked off 2 opponents that are probably going to be at the top of the AFC, come the end of the season, or 2 of the top, rivals that they've had here in the last couple of years. The last 2 teams they played in the AFC Championship game over the last 3 AFC Championship games. So, yeah, it's a good tiebreaker to have. It's a good thing to have those wins on lock. And, listen, you don't need any more evidence than going back to last year to show that you don't have to have things figured out until the playoffs. I mean, the Chiefs certainly didn't have things figured out on Christmas last year, and that still ended up in a Super Bowl victory. So, yeah, I mean, most important thing is 2-0 right now. There's obviously some concerns, obviously some things to fix, but if you can do that and win games at the same time, that's the ideal scenario to have.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Chiefs. You never really know. Well, you never worry in general. I guess we've learned that over the last 5 years or so. They're going to put it together by the end of the season. I guess if this were a team other than the Chiefs, would we worry that you don't get Hollywood Brown likely for a long time, maybe the entire regular season at least, and Pacheco's out? Would there be reason to worry if this was someone other than the Chiefs?
Probably, and I mean, I think this also sort of speaks to what the Chiefs have become, right? I mean, the Bengals just probably should have won the game last week. They held Patrick Mahomes to his lowest passing total of his career in a full game. If he had one less than that, that's when he left with injury against the Broncos, I believe, was the one game lower than his career. They forced turnovers against the Chiefs. The Chiefs, struggled in the red zone. And you add all those things up, and you're like, oh, the Bengals should have won this game. The Bengals didn't win the game. And that's the sort of confidence, I've heard, Travis Kelce talk about on his podcast today, saying, there's just a kind of a confidence level that the team has with Patrick Mahomes in the huddle that they're going to figure this thing out in the end, and that they believe that they're going to make the plays at the end of games to win games. And so it's a good place to be in with that. But as we know, the NFL, the best way to win close games is to not have close games. And so if the Chiefs could put a few more plays together early on, they wouldn't have to rely upon some Mahomes magic and converting on a 4th and 16 to get them out of a bind like they did late last game. So obviously lots of things to look at there. But if you're the Chiefs, you're in a great scenario, which is, like I said, you're winning these games, you feel confident in these games, and at the end of the day, you're 2-0.
I'm going to have to run that statement about the best way to win close games is not to have close games through Jason Duda. Duda, do you feel that's a? Did you understand that? Okay.
Thanks,
Thank
Paul.
you, Jesse.
Oh, jeez, Jesse. You were talking about scoring points, and obviously Pacheco's out now. Really, they only got Steele and Samaje Perine back there. And did you ever think that you would ever see a Kareem Hunt sighting back in Kansas City? And then how do you think this running back room is going to go on from here?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to see him at practice today out there with the guys. And it is weird how time moves on, too, because, being around this area, it doesn't feel like Kareem Hunt was all that long ago with the Chiefs, but it was 2018. And so now he's 29 years old, which for a running back, I mean, that's sort of your last leg in the NFL nowadays. So, yeah, there was a lot of things that had to be forgiven for him to come back to the Chiefs, even with ownership, Clark Hunt, where they met with Kareem Hunt, asked him about the off-field incident, and he basically, they said lied to them about it, and that led to his release in 2018 after, video surfaced that he had kicked and shoved a woman in a hotel. So, time moves on. Obviously, there's been some forgiveness on both sides of this thing for him to be back in Kansas City. As far as the rotation goes, I mean, that's the ultimate fantasy football question, isn't it? Like, Andy Reid said today that, they're hoping to get Pacheco back. He's obviously going to do everything he can to get back, but he said he wasn't sure if it's going to be this season or next season. So, I mean, this is not a short-term injury for the Chiefs, and for Andy Reid to even start with that, to basically say there's a possibility that Isaiah Pacheco won't return this year, that's obviously a concern for the Chiefs. But I think this is how it goes. Carson Steele, the running back, the rookie fullback that they had, who ran so well in the preseason, he fumbled last week, did a little bit to kind of break the trust of the Chiefs. I still think he's getting the first carry. He's got the first opportunity. It's kind of the workhorse type load that Pacheco was taking on. Samaje Perine was brought in as a third down back to catch it out of the backfield. Maybe give him a few more carries, but I still think that's the primary role that you want for him. He's an older guy too. And then you see how this week goes. I mean, I think best case scenario for the Chiefs is that Carson Steele doesn't fumble this game and proves that he can be kind of the tackle-breaking machine he was in the preseason. And if so, I think he has way more juice than what Kareem Hunt does at 29 years old. But Kareem Hunt is on the roster kind of in case. He's the security blanket there because they know him, they know what he can do, they feel like they can rely on him. And so I think this is a huge week for Carson Steele. I think he can take this job and run with it, or if he fumbles again, he could basically play his way off the roster. So this is a big moment for him early in his NFL career. We'll see how he does with it.
Jesse Newell, our guest from the Kansas City Stars. We catch up on the Chiefs. They are Atlanta this Sunday night, right? The Sunday night game in Atlanta. I want to ask you about Travis Kelce. You mentioned his podcast. He's all over the place again. He's become such a celebrity. His relationship with Taylor Swift continues to flourish. He's 35 years old, and he's off to a slow start on the football field. He said today he owns it. What do you think about the future on the football field as a Chief for Travis Kelce? Again, it's ridiculous to write these people off. It's they've shown us before you never write the Chiefs off. But how do you feel about Travis Kelce at this point?
It's a really tough one because nobody has been as productive as a tight end as he has at his age in NFL history. So really, you're talking about 101. Like what he did last year, we just got short of 1,000 yards. Nobody at age 34 as a tight end gets that many yards, in NFL history like Travis Kelce. I mean, he is kind of the exception to the rule. And so you wonder at some point, father time comes for us all. And at some point, it's not going to work as well anymore. But as you talk about, Bob, I mean, last year, we were kind of at that point late in the season when it really trailed off. He took the week off in Week 18 against the Chargers and then came back in the playoffs and looked as good as he had maybe in a couple years. And some of the next-gen stats sprint speeds, he had that sprint speed in the Super Bowl, that pass he caught that was like his fastest movement in 8 years of playing. So, yeah, it's a difficult one. Rewatching some of the film and hearing Andy Reid talk about it, the first Patrick Mahomes interception that he had in the game was because Mahomes and Travis Kelce were not on the same page. And again, that's not something we're used to saying with Mahomes and Kelce, is that they're not on the same page. We're usually saying that they are just completing all these passes because they are on the same page. And so it worries me a little bit. I mean, he obviously has lost some of his speed. He's lost some of his elusiveness. So some of this athletic ability stuff is just not going to come back. But if he's not connecting with Mahomes or having that connection like he normally does intellectually, that is a bit of a concern. And there was a stat out there. I think he'd gone 114 straight games with at least 3 catches, and that was broken last week. And so, I you don't write guys off, but I am concerned, at least, with the production he's had so far, just because if he was still 30 years old, you could definitely see a path out of this. But at 35, in his age 35 season, things have to go right for him to be productive at his age and at, what he's able to do with his body. And right now, those things aren't clicking, and his production is definitely down. The other thing he might have to be worried about is Rashee Rice is going to take some of these targets too, because he's looked so good early on the season and can run those same sorts of tough intermediate routes as well. So, I would be a little bit concerned about Travis Kelce at this point. But like I said, you can't just say that it's not going to happen, because we saw last year, just when it looked like he was about to dip in production, he came back with a vengeance in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'll flip to the other side of that coin, which is kind of the off the field stuff for Travis Kelce. We're 7 months removed now from him screaming at Andy Reid on the sideline about his usage, and today or yesterday, whenever he spoke, he talked about I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm kind of just chill and laid back now. I'm going to kind of work through it. What does that represent to you? Because that's not something you'd usually hear out of Travis Kelce. We know he's got the A-list relationship, the $100 million podcast now. Do you think the off-field life is grabbing him a little harder now?
Well, there's no doubt it's grabbing him harder. I don't think it's impacting his on-field stuff, because, again, we saw this last year with him. I mean, there's really nothing different what he's doing this year than what happened last year, right? He was still dating Taylor Swift then. It was probably a little bit more of a media boom then. It's getting a little bit more used to it now. He still had the podcast then. It was exploding, and taking time with his brother Jason to do that every single week. I think, if anything, it's opened his eyes to his life outside of football and what's going to happen afterwards. But we heard him talk in training camp, about this exact topic. Like, hey, a week ago you were going on the Taylor Swift Eras Tour in Europe in 5-star hotels, and now you're sitting in a dorm room in St. Joseph, Missouri. That's got to be a jarring difference to have to come back to that. And he then basically said, look, this is what I love to do. Football is what I love to do, and this is my sanctuary. He used the word sanctuary when he talked about football. So I still fully think it's something he loves, fully think it's something he's committed to. And I do think, to his credit, at this point in his career, he's one of the rare guys. I don't think the stats really bother him that much. He'd love to get catches, he'd love to get touchdowns. All football players do, but I think he wants to win. And you've seen that unselfishness with the Chiefs kind of permeate, not only with him, but with Patrick Mahomes as well, that these guys will do what it takes to win, in favor of their own personal stats. So I think it's a good place to be in, and I don't question his commitment when it comes to football. I think he loves football. I think he's dedicated to it. I just think at a certain point, when guys are getting younger and younger in the league and you're getting older and older, things have got to go perfect for you to be productive like you were back in the day. And right now things aren't going perfectly for him. Plus, you're seeing a guy like Rashee Rice step into a role who's young and strong and physical and able to be elusive, in the open field. And when the Chiefs are kind of scheming some of these routes, they would be crazy not to use Rashee Rice on some of these routes that they've been using Kelce on for so long.
Yeah, and then obviously Rashee Rice, and then Xavier Worthy, comes out and has 3 touches, 2 touchdowns in the first week. How much more are they going to get him involved, especially with Kelce, like we've been talking? Let's just be honest, he's 35 years old. At that age, playing a position like tight end, you're not going to be productive anymore. But he can do a lot of little things that are going to be a little bit better and open things up for some other guys on the field. So who do you think those guys would be?
Yeah, no, that you make a great point there, because we were going through some film, and the Chiefs really dominated the first half running football. Cincinnati was playing 2 safeties back. They don't have a great defensive line. They had a defensive tackle get hurt, and some of these runs that we were going over, me and Brett Tava, we do a video up on the Kansas City Star website every week. You can find it on YouTube or on my Twitter page. But some of these runs we were talking about, Travis Kelce is blocking off the backside. You know what I mean? And he's getting physical with guys on the edge and making sure that the hole is there. And so, yeah, there are still things that he can do to make this a winning football team and to help out teammates, just as you spoke about. Xavier Worthy's in the same boat. There was one of those running plays where Xavier Worthy goes in motion, the linebacker flows with him, and all of a sudden the Chiefs have 5-on-5 in the run game with blockers. And when one of your blockers is Creed Humphrey and another one's Trey Smith, you're probably going to win that battle. So this really is. I mean, it's a complementary game. You are going to help out other guys with what you do, and Xavier Worthy just being out there is going to help other guys. I want you guys to go back, and he had an end around the other day. I think he went for 5 or 7 yards. It's basically the same play he scored on first week, and I think he made the wrong cut. I think if he cuts behind Creed Humphrey on that play, he might score it again. It would have been like a 50-yard touchdown, but again, these are some of the small things. You live and learn as a rookie. You kind of read angles of blocks and see what you can do. But these guys it's crazy with the Chiefs because no team pays its stars more than the Chiefs. They pay Chris Jones, they pay Travis Kelce, they pay Patrick Mahomes, they pay Creed Humphrey, all these guys. So they have guys performing at a really high level. And then you've got a bunch of guys that are really experienced because you've got to fill in the rest of your roster with young players. And so they kind of have this old team that they know what's going on, who are trying to develop some of the young players at the same time. So usually by the end of the season, Andy Reid gets this thing rolling. But right now, I think some of those things just aren't quite in place yet, and we'll see if that develops over time.
All right, final comment and then your response. The NFL schedule it's almost ludicrous to try to predict anything before the season starts. Obviously, wins against Baltimore and Cincinnati are huge, but then we thought there would be a little reprieve in this Chiefs schedule. As it turns out, however, going to Atlanta, playing the Chargers at home, a home game against New Orleans, at San Francisco, at Las Vegas, at home against Tampa Bay, that's a pretty formidable schedule coming up.
It's looking a little bit more difficult, isn't it? Especially with, for instance, the Saints now looking like maybe one of the best offenses in the NFL with a new offensive coordinator in Kubiak, who actually, I covered him. I'm getting old. I covered him as the receivers coach under David Beatty at Kansas, of all places, and now he's a high-flying offensive coordinator of the Saints. But you're right, Bob. I mean, this thing is going to be difficult week in, week out, and we know the margin for error in these sort of professional sports is really small. You've seen it the last couple of weeks. A toe on one week, and then a 50-whatever-yard field goal or a 4th and 16 pass interference away from losing a game the next week. But yeah, this schedule is shaping up a lot more difficult than what it looked like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But we know what the Chiefs are and what they normally have been over the course of these past few seasons is that Andy Reid consistently pumps out those double-digit wins and consistently gets his team ready for what's to come in the playoffs. So it seems like they're trending that direction. And if you had a team to pick out of the AFC, I mean, right now to me it looks like the Chiefs and Bills would still be kind of at the top there. It's been that way for many years, along with the Ravens, and it's probably going to end up that way this year again as well.
Always good stuff, Jesse. Thank you.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
Jesse Newell from the Kansas City Star breaking down little Chiefs.
Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play, or lose your seat on the couch, or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
Here's our friend Mike Furches joining us. We're going to spend a little time with Mike catching up on his journeys, to borrow this first song we played.
Journey.
Stay with us, man.
Because it's a band.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was just thinking about taking Tony on a Tears for Fears marathon.
Well, you're on a marathon right now with ELO, and by everything I've read online, almost everything, there was a couple of things I read early on that Jeff Lynne was struggling with his health and looked slow. But I only read that early on. It seems like he's past that. How have you enjoyed the Electric Light Orchestra?
Well, I think we talked about that, but not in detail. This go around since seeing the show, man, I hate to say, I would tend to agree that his age, that he is struggling from who he used to be. I thought the St. Louis and the Indianapolis show, it was ELO. So you're seeing the advantage you love, but they can't do nothing wrong. You just realize they're getting older. The Cleveland show was great. He sounded good. He looked good. And so, my wife and I were talking. We wondered almost if he had a bug or what was going on. But he sounded great and looked great in Cleveland. And the show was I've got a buddy that works for the Light and Sound Company, Greg, and that's doing the shows for a lot of the tours. And there are different shows that there has to be, because you can't play St. Louis one night and Toronto the next night and then Cleveland the next night and have the same stage setup. So the stage setup in Cleveland was magnificent and was really good. And one gets quickly reminded why they are the legends that they are, and the sadness of the fact that I genuinely believe this will be the last tour that ELO does, and we'll probably close out with a big show in Wembley where they'll sell it out. So, but what a time we live in and Jeff will understand this, and you will as well, Bob. To live in a time where
What about Duda? Will he understand it?
No.
Duda's Duda, man.
What are you guys talking about anyway?
In regards to sports, it's great to see the things you love, and I'm convinced after seeing ELO that I'll see him at least one more time in Dallas. I'd like to see him in Inglewood for their last show, but the tickets for that's going to be astronomical. And
Mike, I don't think
Mike's not finished.
He's finished. Mike, I don't think I believe in last tours anymore. I think you go till you're done. You just go until you can't do it anymore. There's no reason. The Eagles announced the last tour, and they seemingly have abandoned it to go play in Vegas for 4 months. So I don't know if I believe in, hey, this is our last. You're done when you're done.
I think that ELO and ELO is Jeff Lynne. Jeff Lynne has a history of not caring that much about being in the public eye. You don't do meet and greets or visits with Jeff Lynne on this tour. And he's Donnie Harrison. I got to speak with Donnie Harrison on his last tour, and the way he said it, Jeff's kind of anal and he don't like to change things. And I can see that. I've read a couple of books on him since then. I got another one that I'm planning on reading. But he's a little bit different kind of character, Jeff. He's you don't ever see him do very many interviews. He's not looking for the spotlight. He's made the contribution he's made, and I genuinely think that because of his health, it will be his last tour. He doesn't look good. He's using a prompter for a show. So, there's all of that, and they're not doing anything new. All of the songs are old songs. So they're not doing anything probably over the last 20 years. Everything else has been prior to 20 years that they're doing in concert. And it's still a jam-packed, fun concert. And the crowd, the floor, is on their feet the whole show. And every stadium was packed. And that's kind of a cool thing, too, to get to see the various stadiums. I mean, I texted you guys at Cleveland and got to see some of the Guardians play. It was really kind of cool. It's a beautiful – it's 300 feet away from each other, from the arena to the.
And as I told you, I hope ELO woke you up after that experience.
See, just a hater, Mike. That's all he is.
So most people that's been in that field all year.
Here we go.
Stop it. They didn't play the baseball stadium, you morons.
For the moment,
go ahead, Mike.
For the moment I was there, Jeff, I was a Guardian fan. It's a beautiful,
thank you,
beautiful stadium. So
it sure is.
Who's the band that just disbanded?
REO Speedwagon.
Yeah, because two of their guys weren't getting along.
Yeah.
That floored me. I mean, we can't stand each other anymore. We're done. Isn't that something? I was astounded by that.
And then Jane's Addiction fought on stage, and they're done now.
Right.
Yeah, the James Addiction thing was crazy. I saw that. That was just absolute. The lead singer just decides to attack the guitar player because he's playing lead over his vocals. That was crazy. So
that's unbelievable.
There's nothing like that to expect with the ELO, nor Tears for Fears tour. That would. Those two guys probably get along.
You never know at their age anymore.
What do you have, Duda?
Who's a bigger fan, Mike? And I can ask you, and you'll give an honest opinion. You for ELO or Jeff for the Eagles?
What about me for the Eagles?
You don't go to any concerts or anything anymore. He travels all over the place, and you're not involved in this question.
What about me for the Eagles?
Again, Mike, you for ELO or Jeff for the Eagles? Because I think Jeff's a bigger fan of the Eagles than Bob.
I would tend to agree with that, Duda. Although Bob is a tremendous fan of the Eagles, it's the Eagles have a history with Jeff, and ELO has a real history with me that goes back to the time I was a teenager, and I literally remember the first time I ever saw them play on Don Kirshner's Midnight Special, playing the song Roll Over Beethoven. And I had been engaged in a few things I shouldn't have, and I will never forget that performance. It was the single most amazing rock and roll performance that I had ever seen, and it never left me. And I've been in love with them ever since.
Can I get in here to
it's a
defend
little-
myself?
I guess if you want to try.
Waiting
You
for
got
this.
nothing.
This
Here we go.
unbelievably asinine comment, really by all three of you.
What did I say?
Here's what I'm going to say.
It's just here.
When the Eagles broke out in 1972, Jeff wasn't even in my mind. In fact, earlier that day I said, "Are you kidding me? I'm never going to have a kid."
We all wish you hadn't.
So from 1972 to 1980, when I hadn't even thought about Jeff wasn't even a thought.
Not even a thought?
No.
Not one.
That's when the Eagles were the Eagles. And they were putting out new music, new records. I was first in line to buy them. I saw them all the time. I was gung-ho. Now, Jeff jumped along in 1994.
94?
Hey, Dad,
Give me a break,
they're putting the band
94.
together again.
Give me a break, 94.
That's
How
when
about
you first
82?
saw them, okay?
Okay, well, that's the first time I could see them. But don't act like I was like, the Eagles? Well, who are they?
Yeah. And then, they put out one new record since then.
Thank you.
And I was an Eagles fan when they were the Eagles. I'll just say that.
Mike, defend me.
Well, your dad's been a fan since before you were born, and that's hard to argue with. But you've been to 50-plus shows. That says something. And I can relate to that because I'll be going to see ELO as much as I can afford and have somebody to go with me. I don't like going to concerts by myself, which is kind of ironic. But
Well, Jeff doesn't mind.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
He'll just stand there like a moron. Hey, boy, way to go, Don.
Pretty much, yeah.
Let's get to something else.
One thing about that is that you can afford better seats if you go by yourself, I can say.
Exactly.
Let's get to something else. You've touted a new movie that's out from the horror genre, and Jeff nor Duda really likes that. I'm on board. It's called Say No Evil. Tell us why that movie spoke to you.
Well, it's first of all, it's a psychological thriller. It's and horror. It's there's no monster. The monsters in it is this guy that's basically. I don't want to give too much away. There's a guy in it that's the horror character, and it kind of follows in line with some of the older shows about someone breaks into your house or you get in with the wrong people. This is the honest goodness movie of all the movies I've ever seen ever. It's the first time ever in the theater that I yelled out loud, "Yeah, yeah," and stood up and started clapping. And I was watching.
Wow.
I was reading the Roger Ebert review today, and it's saying that's happening all across the country. That people in the movie are literally clapping and yelling during the movie. And I won't tell you. I don't want to give anything away, but it is one of the best horror genre films. Acting, everything about it that has come out, and it's believable. I'm sitting here right now, Bob. I'm saying that. God is my witness. I've got goosebumps popping up all over my arm because it's so believable. It's so believable. And it's
called Speak No Evil, by the way. I said Say No Evil.
Who's in it?
James McAvoy is the main character.
Yeah. It's scary as HE double hockey sticks. And
I got to see it.
Yeah, it's worth seeing. It's this is one that you don't have to, because I think it's important for people to know. This is one you won't have to see at the theaters. I think it's a better experience for the sound and visuals, but it will be just as good on television, maybe even better on a Friday night at home with the lights turned off. It might even be better than in the theater. So,
let me tell you something.
Good.
If I'm at home on Friday night with the lights turned off, me and the wife are fooling around. Let me just say that.
Enough said.
Dump.
Break.
Can I say a bad word so we can eliminate
somewhere?
What's wrong with you guys? Don't you appreciate love?
TMI. I'll have to talk to Shoot about doing that, but it's TMI.
It is. Thank you.
All right, go ahead. Ask your...
Mike, did you watch Baby Reindeer?
Yes, I did.
Why?
We've talked about that. Why did I watch it?
It sucks.
When I first heard about all the hype, I wanted to watch it because I'd heard about all the hype. And then I watched it because of all the hype. And when I finished watching it, I thought, man, I don't know. That's kind of what I thought, man, I just don't know. And then I started doing research, and here's all I'll say. Netflix kind of has a lousy history of getting the facts straight. And I mean, you know the recent stories about the lawsuits and so forth that's taken place because of the movie. I suspect, mark it down, tell me if I'm wrong later on, I suspect Netflix is going to settle that case out of court. And there's believable things in it, things that happen, but there's so much in that movie that in reality never happened. And, you know, you and Bob or Duda especially can probably talk about someone stalking him more than we can because, you know, we don't
don't watch
have
that show,
status to do
dudes.
that. Yeah.
I
Unless
enjoyed
you wanna
that.
hate yourself.
I enjoyed that show, and it cleaned up at the Emmys. So,
Yeah.
Is it a
television.
movie? I don't know
It's
this
a show. It's a
series.
mini show thing, 7 episodes. Just save your time.
For a series,
absolutely
for a TV
not.
show, I think it's a good TV show. I just don't know if I'd be so quick to put it in the classification of nonfiction. But it's
Yeah, I don't know what-
entertaining. It's good.
Well, the guy involved in
what
it
was
is the
good
guy
about it?
behind it. So I don't know. Well, we'll get to
And
all
I
that
didn't
later.
like him
Jeff,
at all.
Well, no, I don't care what you liked
But
anymore.
we're talking about it. He was not a
talking about it.
likable person or character.
Well, there you go.
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
Let me ask you, got anything?
I was curious if you saw the Beetlejuice movie.
Of course.
I've heard horrible things.
How was it? I'm not a Beetlejuice fan, but my wife and daughter want to go watch it, so I'm just curious.
Yeah, movies like that, dude, I usually see them prior to opening. I see them the night before, 2 days before opening. But did see it, and you know, my personal belief is I thought it was a fair and an adequate sequel to the original. Michael Keaton was good as always, and it's not a great movie. I don't think it was ever intended to be, but it kind of goes back to it's kind of like the old Disney horror stuff. It kind of plays like that. It's not a Disney film, but it kind of plays like an old Disney horror or almost a Ghost of Mr. Chicken horror. There's some good funny moments to it, and there's pretty good special effects to it as well. So I thought it was entertaining and worth seeing. I won't pay to see it again, but it was worth seeing.
Well, it's actually gotten better reviews than I just read some terrible things about it. But who knows? Last question for you, Mike. Walnut Valley Festival, which is in Winfield, obviously, it's happening. Or the festival that you mentioned to me when we talked earlier today, the Valley Center Carnival Fall Festival. Which one would you prefer?
Oh, boy. Well, I'd go to one on Friday night and another one on Saturday night. The Walnut Valley Festival, I used to camp out there, so there's a lot of special memories at that festival that I love it. And that festival, what I'd do, Bob, is I'd go to this is seriously what I think I might do. I'd go to the Valley Center Festival or get together fall gathering because it's a blast. To me, the last time I went last year, I enjoyed it as much as the state fair. It's just they do a fantastic job for their community. I would go there for that, and then after it was over, then I'd drive down to Winfield because for me the fun thing about Winfield are the campgrounds, not the main stage. The main stages are okay, but visiting the campgrounds at 3 a.m. and playing music is an amazing experience. So that's what I would do.
All right. Always good, Mike, to catch up with you. We'll get in touch next week. Where are you on the road here to see ELO this week?
Nope, I'm at home. I'm taking a week and enjoying it and getting some things around the house done, and so I'm at home. Thanks for until Dallas. I'll be going to Dallas, but I'm at home until then.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, guys. You guys have a good one.
Mike Furches, every Wednesday for the most part. All right, we are back. Jive Talk here on the show, the Bob and Jeff Show, KFH Radio. Jason Duda in. Three-man booth. I've mismanaged time, so this will be a relatively short segment as we get through a Wednesday show. God, I had something I was going to say, and it escaped me.
What was it?
What could it
Well,
have
it's
been?
too bad.
Was it about baseball, football, sports, eating?
Was it about us
No, it
playing
was about
catch?
it was about we need some new show intros, and those are all old. And I'm going to entice Max when he gets back, fully refreshed, to draw on some of the other really good stuff I've done and get that in the show intro.
I heard a promo.
Really good stuff you've done.
Well, Jeff,
I wasn't even listening.
if he can find something from Jeff, throw that in there too.
I heard a promo.
But
Can I speak? Go for it. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I said what I needed to say.
I heard a promo the other day of us arguing about whether Justin Fields would be good for the Bears.
What'd you say?
Doesn't matter. That's an old promo. Justin Fields doesn't even play for the Bears.
Well, we'll
Anymore.
figure it all out.
Get rid of that promo.
Yeah, get rid of that promo. Let's
Duda
do
was in it, but
do a little
because-
housekeeping.
Because I was right.
Little
No, you weren't.
housekeeping. I just did it on League 42's website. Needed a
do?
little housekeeping. Sometimes you gotta freshen things up. You know what I mean?
Really?
how come you don't call on me for stuff like that?
Can you do that?
What does it involve? If you did it, I can do it probably.
Whoa! In your face, Bob. What do you got to say about that?
Really?
I think. What did you do?
I got our web guy and told him what I wanted refreshed.
Well done. Well done. Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
You're not a web guy.
I know how to do a little HTML stuff, kind of, but I don't know what you wanted. So
Well, I don't need what I wanted was something he can do.
fine.
What's HTML?
Web code.
He doesn't know what it stands for.
Is it a?
Nobody knows what it stands for,
Is it?
but it's just
isn't
web
that
code.
one of the little things you put in the back of the TV? You plug in.
Yeah, HTML 1 and 2 and 3.
It is?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's HDMI.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I didn't. What? I'm trying to learn, Bob.
Give
You're
it
never
up.
too old.
My advice
To
would be
learn
to give that
something.
up.
I would love for you to learn HTML. That'd be amazing.
Hotmail? I got Hotmail.
You ought to delve
you do.
into. You ought to delve into actually learning something.
Why?
You know, dudes ain't gonna do that.
What's the point? I'm good. I don't need. I'm fine. I got a roof over the head and a couch, a TV, bed, and bathroom. You're good. You're good. Could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse.
Just let him go. I'm going to put down my mic.
Sure, why not?
It could be a lot worse. No,
Could be a lot worse.
Could be.
We're not talking about your
My what?
your belongings, your material belongings.
I don't have money belongings.
What are we talking about?
Yeah,
We're just talking about.
None of us have money. I mean, you might, but we don't.
Well,
I
he
don't
does-
have
he's-
money.
You say you have money all the time.
I don't have serious money. I got
But you have money. We don't have any money.
really
Yeah.
with the salary your wife makes.
Whoa!
What are you doing?
You shouldn't be talking about
We're
that.
living.
What do you
We're-
mean
we're
I shouldn't be-
We're paying a mortgage. We're buying groceries. We're sending the kid to college.
Yeah,
So
it
are
don't
we.
take- it
We're
don't take
eating.
much. So are we. You got
I
a
sent
kid going to college?
I sent a kid to college.
Yeah, it was like $18
for
back then.
Yeah, and it was 18
Now
years.
it's like 25.
It was 18 years too, and it wasn't $18.
Makes me sick looking at those
Then
numbers.
don't send your kid to college.
Well, why not? How am I going to get her out of the house?
I mean, if you're going to whine about it,
I'm not whining. I'm simply
just-
stating the facts.
We get paychecks.
Have her pay
we
for
lose
college.
the paychecks.
Paychecks.
You need to
the
know.
problem with a
what
lot of
life is
parents
like.
today is you make it so easy for your kids. Oh, we got it. We'll
Oh,
come.
we're not-
Oh, you're going to college? Here. We'll,
are you talking
we'll,
about?
What are you talking
We'll
about?
break our bank.
I'm
What are you
not
talking
paying for
about?
college. How am I going to do that?
Well, you just
Did
said
I get a raise on this show?
No, but we help
He
her out.
said it.
We buy her things. We drive her to
Well, yeah.
up and down. We pay for her gas. I mean,
Well, that's ridiculous.
she's got to get her feet under. She just got a job.
You know when I got my feet under me when I was
Have
11.
You're still working.
That's
on
when I got my feet under me.
Yeah, and then you tripped and fell constantly.
broke a leg, broken elbow.
No, you can't even
broken
look at
nose.
me and tell me that.
You
because
lost
you
a
know it's
tooth.
wrong.
It's painful. Painful.
Listen.
Life ain't easy.
Life
but we're
wasn't
good.
easy then.
Yeah, it was. It was the easiest
lot
thing in the
easier
world.
then than it was.
Shut
now.
up, Duda.
Well, just saying.
You grew up in a.
If you had
You know what?
if you had $9, you lived in a 4-story house.
Yeah, he did.
It was an igloo. It wasn't a house. Only lasted 6
But
months.
don't
out of
give
the
me
year.
that. Oh, it's so hard now.
It is.
Give
It's
me a
always
break.
been hard.
It's not.
It's always been hard.
It's not crippling, but it's tough.
Oh, it's crippling.
I paid for every dollar of my college.
Good for you.
Every dollar. I'm not even talking to you.
I said good for you. Calm down.
Every dollar.
Congrats.
You know what my dad told me?
Nothing.
We can't pay for college, so if you want to go, it's on you. Very simple.
That's what most parents are saying.
it
these
wasn't.
days.
It
Exactly.
really wasn't that complicated.
That's
Right.
the way it is. That's the way it is.
Right.
I was paying rent when I turned 18 to live at home.
Did you tell your daughter that? If you're going to college, it's on you.
Yeah, she knows she's going to have to be flipping the bill here. That's the way it's got to be. I can't just go to the bathroom and crap out $100 bills. If I could, we'd all be rich. But I can't.
You'd give
share?
some to us.
Oh, I'd share because it'd be
Well,
so
clean
much.
them up first.
Oh, guaranteed. Launder them.
Literally and figuratively, hopefully.
But anyway, don't give me your sob story.
Not sobbing, just telling you how life is.
I got to agree with them. It wasn't sob. This
I'm
is
not
the way
here
it
to
is.
hear. I'm not here to listen to it.
Well, we know that. We understand. Heaven forbid.
If you have a little money you might want to throw our way, we'd appreciate it.
Well, but no, I'm not throwing any money your way.
All
You
right.
can just hand it to me. You don't have to throw it. Be easier.
And that's not my responsibility, frankly.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, you'd love it to be.
Yeah, if you just give us a little and we'll be fine. We'll call
His
it
wife has a
We'll call it
very
even.
good job, makes pretty good money.
How do you know what she makes?
Yeah, this is
Jeff has. I looked it up.
What do you
Jeff-
think she makes?
I know exactly what.
I'm
what
not
tell
even
us.
getting
I'm not going to
involved.
tell you
I'm
on
not-
the air.
Yeah, what? No, I don't want to be here for this conversation.
Jeff has 3 jobs,
And I make a little more than
and
her.
I think he made $21,000 last year.
I'm the breadwinner, man. Barely.
So I mean, don't cry me a river.
Nobody is.
No, nobody.
I still got to work at the age of almost 70 to
Says
make
who?
it happen.
Yeah, well, congratulations.
What else would you be doing today?
Well, why wouldn't I have retired? Why can't I retire?
Well, you probably could. Couldn't you?
I don't know. Doesn't feel like it's in the cards right now.
Oh, jeez.
Feels like I still enjoy this doing something.
You were
what
about
I'm
to say
saying.
you enjoy doing this show, but you couldn't quite make yourself
didn't
say
want
it.
to say it.
I don't enjoy this show right now. I'd like to kick both your asses.
Well, here we are.
Right here.
Well,
We won't
you
be getting
think-
away fast. So if
We'll
you
be
want-
out there playing catch in a
You
few
think
minutes.
Jane's addiction had a falling out? We could have a falling out at any minute.
In the show?
Sure.
Poor guys.
exciting.
Always, here's Jeff, not you, another Jeff, who wants to
Why?
weigh in on our paying for college debate. Hello, Jeff.
I feel like it's pretty easy. I'll pay for their college all day if they pay me back for the daycare that I spent on them when they're little, because that'll blow the college out of the water. I'll come out ahead on this deal.
That's a good point. I paid for Jeff's daycare, and then when I couldn't afford it, I just dropped him in the woods and went back.
Yeah,
at
I went to
5
daycare for about 4 minutes.
Thanks, Jeff. What are you talking about?
Speaking of college, what was it? How much?
You went to Asbury.
That's
Daycare.
preschool, brother.
Is that not daycare?
No, that's
Preschool.
preschool.
You went to Bridget's. You
was
went
a
to
babysitter.
Barb's.
Yeah, babysitter. Where is Barb?
I
Where
saw her
is
the other
Bridget?
day.
No, you didn't.
I did. I've seen Barb.
How would you know
couple
that
of
it's
times.
Barb?
I recognize her.
Would I know that it's Barb?
I don't know,
Nope.
but we dropped you off.
I'd probably know that it's Bridget.
One time, your mom and I said, "Should we ask a couple questions about what these people do?" And I said, "Nah, let's just drop him and go."
I got
That was a fun time. I enjoyed that.
I got to know, what was it when you went to college? How much was it a year?
I don't remember, but you know what I made an hour?
It's not. That was my
You know-
question.
no, no.
But I'd love to
Well,
hear
you
it.
want it? All
well,
you
this
people
will answer your question
all you-
because he could pay for college off of this. So yeah,
all you
right.
people want to say, well, nothing. College didn't cost anything.
Oh, everything was different. Things
So
were a
tell
lot
us-
cheaper. I get it. I was just out of
tell us
curiosity.
the salary that
I
paid
was-
for your college.
When I started at the Wichita Eagle, I made $150 a week,
There you go. That paid for college.
and the Eagle helped out. They had a program at that time.
Well, that's the
Well,
first
they
time I'm
would
hearing of
assist-
this.
They would assist full-time employees with their college.
Yeah, well, that wasn't
pretty good.
offered when I was there. I was a full-time employee that they didn't pay or give benefits.
Well,
to.
go. You know what? Go file a lawsuit.
I might.
Again, all this is.
Why did you let them do that? let's revisit that. Why did you let them take advantage of your son the way that they did? I had no other options, really. I mean, I guess I did, but you know what I wanted to do with my life. I was writing. I was having a good time. Why did you let them just abuse me financially?
I had other things going on.
Yeah.
Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play, or lose your seat on the couch, or have to go head to head for the last chicken wing. Shop game day faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
When you say the letters Keyn, everybody knows what you mean.
What do you think of?
It's one of the iconic call letters in Wichita radio history.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm just telling you. Let's name another one.
The Mount Rushmore of Wichita
The
radio
Mount
call
Rushmore
letters.
of Wichita radio call letters.
KFDI,
KFH,
KRD,
not around anymore.
KICT 95.
Be close. And I think KEYN is there.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now, if you go way back, you won't remember this because this is
I remember
when
a
I
lot
was
of
a
stuff.
huge Eagles fan and you weren't even around.
Okay.
KLEO.
Of course I remember KLEO.
You don't remember KLEO.
Heard KLEO my whole life.
No, you haven't.
KNSS is up there.
Certainly is.
WKRP.
How you doing, by the
Everybody
way?
knows that one.
You got a little
KWCH.
winded out there playing catch.
Well, you made me crouch like I was a catcher, man. Like my knees are popping.
You bent at like a. You
An old man.
Just
That's exactly what happened, Jeff.
if you're 5'10", your crouch put you at 5'8.5". That's
I got down to 5'7".
Anyway, good job.
Who's the Mount Rushmore of non-Eagles in the Eagles universe?
Non-Eagles?
Yeah,
What do you mean? I'm not sure what you're asking.
like people in the Eagles universe who weren't in the Eagles band,
How are you not in the? I don't get it.
like Linda Ronstadt, J.D. Souther,
They have a musician?
and Jackson Brown. Who's the fourth?
Who?
Vince Gill.
He's in the Eagles.
Oh, so like he doesn't count?
So does it need to be a musician? If it
Doesn't
does,
necessarily have to be.
Bob Seger.
That's probably it.
Did you
If
guys?
it doesn't need to be a musician, then Irving Azoff would be in the discussion, as would David Geffen.
Yeah, I explored that in my J.D. Souther piece. You can check it out at kwch.com if you are so inclined, on Facebook and elsewhere. All right.
Oh, boy, we'll get right to that one.
Plug.
Did anyone say, why are we writing a piece on J.D. Souther?
No one said that. I mean, Gray sent one. They sent
there you go.
They sent a long obituary, so I figured I'll just write my own.
Nice job.
Thank you.
I like that. You know, the more of that stuff you do, the more I like it.
Yeah, I wrote a Jackson 5. I'm gonna start doing that more. Just wherever I can, just write stuff. Wrote the Jackson.
The concern I have is you'll get down the road a month and then that'll disappear.
No, but I don't. I'm not putting any. You know, I'm not putting it in a box. I'm just whatever I want to write, I'll write it. I'm not going to say I'm going to do
Will you
this.
finish that Joe Hour piece?
We'll see.
Promise me.
I have to start it first and interview like 12 more people.
Before basketball season starts, he's done a lot of the legwork.
No, I've interviewed.
He's had
Joe
this
Hour.
in the can for.
All I've done is interview Joe.
Yeah, I remember this conversation months ago.
It's been almost 2 years.
There's
But
no
months-
one. There's
months ago.
no
It's
one
trying to be
out
nice.
there who deserves this piece more
I
than Joe. Hour.
know. I just when
And there's no one out there who's going to keep pressing you on it more than me.
fine.
I mean, if I thought you would just do a shoddy job and it wouldn't be very good, I wouldn't care. But I know you'll do a good job and it will be good, and you should do it.
I know. I can only do a good job. That's what's like. Do I have the time to do a good job?
Yes. The answer to that question is yes.
We'll see.
Right, dude?
Yeah, of course. I agree 100%. What were you guys talking about?
Well, you know what we're talking about.
The writing of the piece or getting it done?
getting it done.
Both. I haven't.
See, I didn't know for sure. He said one, you said the other.
Well, they're both the same.
Well, kinda.
So it's a
You can do
massive
it.
undertaking.
Okay, I'm gonna side with Bob on this. Yeah, you get her done.
I can
You
do
know
it.
how many long profiles I wrote in my life?
Yeah, but that was your job, right? This is.
it was part of my job. I also had
But
other
when
things
you-
going on.
I know, but you could dedicate the time to it. And I don't. I just. It's tough. It's tough. I want to. We'll talk.
Nothing gave me a more sense of personal satisfaction as a writer, than a profile of an individual.
Yeah, I like doing them.
It was better than a game story, better than a column, better than a sidebar, better than a short feature. The times where I felt the most compelled and energized was when I sat down and I knew, man, they're going to give me 80 to 100 inches of copy on this, and I can't wait.
Right. It's fun to do.
That's all I'm saying.
Good stuff, isn't it? Right, dudes.
Good stuff.
Did anybody ever do that kind of piece on you? I did a column on you and Black Betty.
You did it on my car. You never did anything on me, but you did it on my car.
I think.
Like
I
that-
feel like
is
it
that-
was about you two.
Does that not just say where we're at in our
Well, he was
relationship?
a columnist, and
Yeah,
that
so
was
I
a good
wrote about
idea.
my car.
That was a good idea for a column.
Thank you.
Well, here you two go. Good job. I'm glad.
just telling
glad
you.
I got you guys
Now,
together.
should he
here.
have probably written a deeper, longer profile?
Who
Absolutely.
was the Thunder beat writer during your playing career? Colin Long?
Yes.
Did he ever sit down with you and do a longer piece?
I don't know.
It was harder in my time because it wasn't like guys were staying 10 years. I guess I could have done one on Matt Robinson, but once you went to the ECHL, it's like guys are going to be up and down, the roster's going to turn over, and it's a little tougher. I wrote on some guys though.
Yeah, it was totally different once that happened because you don't have guys that stuck around.
Nobody writes those kinds of stories anymore.
I know.
Because the metrics show that people don't read them because people are not very smart. Because people can't hang with something and get enjoyment from a longer piece. And I get it. It's not like I sit down and read a bunch of longer pieces every day, but the ones I want to read, I do, and I'm always glad I did.
Right.
We've lost that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I look at the metrics on even the stories that I write. Like, if people stay with them for a minute, that's like an accomplishment. Because they don't. It's weird. I don't know what would make you stop reading something that you're reading.
It is because of this thing we're looking at. You just looked at your phone while you were talking.
What did I even say?
See, he doesn't even know.
I was trying to see how many page views we got, but I can't even sign into the site.
I mean, people can't even carry on a discussion now.
Nope. Without the
Without
phone.
touching or look at you.
What are you talking
Jeff?
about?
Exactly.
Well, I just got an email. I'm looking up
Who
stuff.
cares?
I care.
The email will be there in 10 minutes.
Oh, and this is you now, the guy who looks at his iPad throughout the show.
Yeah. That's me.
Well, good for you.
Why are you attacking Duda?
He can attack me. I'm okay. I can stick up for
But
myself.
get
Not
off your
attacking him.
phone.
Why? Well,
Who cares if you got an email?
I want to read it now.
Who's it from?
Oh, it's a fantasy football thing. Our commish
By the way, I hate
commish.
this.
does some notes.
I hate this site for fantasy.
You said
I
you
tried
were
to
in
tell
love
you.
with it. to
I
start with.
thought I picked up a couple players. They don't show up.
Well, then somebody beat you to him.
No, I don't even see it on the site. It's a terrible site, and I'm never.
This is why you need to listen to me. Not everybody else who's telling you, oh, this site's great, and we'll do. Listen to me. I know what you can handle, okay?
Let him help you. Let
I
him.
will from that.
That's
I
why
hate a-
you.
That's why YouTube TV, that was never going to work for you.
By the way, I dropped it.
Right. Just listen to me.
You
I'm
know
not going
why
to
I
steer
dropped
you
it?
wrong.
I'm going to tell that story when we come back.
I want to know, but first I want to know why you don't listen to me.
You don't have a great track record.
Please.
track record thing, I think.
I know you better than you know you.
No,
You
nobody
thought you
knows
could handle
me
YouTube
better.
TV.
I could,
No.
but I'm going to tell the story
I got to hear it because I have YouTube TV.
when we come back. I'll get into all that and share my life. My life's a mess,
Good.
and I do my very best to make it more of a mess at times, and I succeed.
Well, I'm trying to get you through the mess.
I don't
and
need anybody's
prevent
help.
More messes. You,
Except for getting on my internet at home right now.
Not doing
If
it.
you could help me with that, I'd be appreciative. All right, I told you I was going to tell you about my YouTube
Let's hear it.
experience.
Yeah, I want to know.
It was fine. I think YouTube TV's certainly viable. A lot of people like it. I just didn't like the navigation of it. I didn't catch on. So with DirecTV, I just turn on my TV and there it is, and I go to the channel guide and everything I got recorded, and it's very simple for me to use because I'm used to it.
Sure.
And I didn't want to take the time to. I think the navigation of YouTube TV's a little more difficult.
That's your story? That's it?
It's a little more difficult because the remote's so much more simple, I think. And so with DirecTV, you hit a button, guide comes up, there you go. You want to hit your list of stuff, it's right there. Because I was the same way. We had DirecTV, went to YouTube. I didn't like YouTube for the start, and now it's fine. Because I figured it out.
And I can certainly understand that.
So I get it.
But for me and for my wife, it's going to be easier to navigate DirecTV now that they got things figured out with Disney. That was really the thing that upset me. And they've sent me an email since then. They've offered me a little discount. So they're back in my kind of good graces.
But you can't get the NFL package on DirecTV.
I don't want the NFL package.
Well, what do you mean? You were loving it when you had it before.
When it was free.
Exactly.
You haven't paid for it.
I just did.
Well, and meanwhile, your daughter's out there hawking lemonade to try to get to college.
I mean, that's a fair point, but not really.
I
Good
hope
job,
so.
Dad.
Yeah, that's the one thing I spend it on, and I did. And I'm okay with
I
it.
get all the NFL games I want to see. I want to see the Chiefs. They usually, I like the national games. What am I? I don't need to see. What do I need?
You don't want to see Arizona and the Rams play?
No.
Oh,
That game was brutal.
Missing out.
Why do I care about that game?
Arizona Detroit this week? You don't want to watch that shootout?
No, I can only watch one game at a time. Now, I'm sure on your...
Oh, you flick it back and forth. You got to know where you're going. It's easy. Get 6 different TVs set up.
Why would you want to watch
got 'em
6
all.
games, though? You're really not watching any games
Yeah,
when you're
you're
watching
really not
6
involved
games.
in any game.
Oh, you're involved.
All you're doing is, what's my fantasy guide? Oh, and that's all you do.
Sometimes, yeah.
No, not
Sometimes.
sometimes. That's
Sometimes,
the
yeah.
only reason you watch any sports.
Not if there's a good game.
Because
that's
you
gonna
don't
be
watch
on.
the NBA,
No.
because you're not in fantasy.
No,
You
I don't watch
college baseball or basketball.
I watch college basketball.
You do?
I like college basketball.
Well, you must.
I don't like the NBA. I've said that lots.
You must bet on it or have some
No, I do
weirdo
not.
fantasy team with your boys back home.
Dude. Yeah, I don't know.
I
what
don't
he's
know
saying.
either.
Don't worry about what I'm
Should I
saying.
get NHL Center Ice for the Preds? I looked it up yesterday. They have 39 common dates with the Pacers, so at the most, I'd only be able to watch 43 Preds games.
Oh, that's
And
that
you
worth
know,
it?
If I got the, of course I can't get the NF, but I can get the MLB extra inning.
So yeah, ignore what I was asking you. Let's go back to you.
yeah.
Well, who cares about NHL Center Ice?
I was asking dudes.
I was kind of interested in the
Do
conversation.
you have that?
No.
Of course you don't.
But if I had it, I'd probably watch more hockey. Because the problem is you don't get any hockey games on just regular TV once
No.
in a while. So
like
you can't.
ESPN Plus and all these other
you
things.
get more now.
That's probably why I enjoy the playoffs so much too, I guess.
You can access them. You know where they
You
are.
can watch them all. Plus, you haven't watched it all year. That's really good. I'm glad you brought that up.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I don't
I'll see what I can do with Center Ice this year.
So you're going to become a Predators fan?
I might see how it
Are you
goes.
going to hang with the Pacers?
Obviously, I'm going to watch all the Pacers games. I'm into the Pacers.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like emotional about the Pacers.
That would, I would have trouble watching that much NBA.
Not if you have a team that you like. I don't think it's not a thing.
But you've kind of invented this. This isn't.
I kind of have, but I've also sort of always liked the Pacers, sort of in the back of my mind. Reggie Miller was my favorite player for a long time. Jalen Rose when he was there. I mean, it's been kind of the Pacers. If I'm going to be a fan of any team,
Smith, you liked him?
I like those teams.
Whatever.
But if I'm going to be a fan of a team, it's going to be the
George
Pacers.
McGinnis.
Absolutely. Love George McGinnis, one of the ABA's greats.
Yeah, right. Again.
We only have ABA titles. We've never won an NBA championship. So
That
it's
was
right up
before-
my alley.
Before you were born.
Exactly.
One of your teams are going to win before
So they have to.
Hey,
We got
how
to the-
about this?
2050.
you would
How
think.
about this news? Red Zone channel, $14.99, DirecTV. If I want to go to the Red Zone channel all day long, I get everything I need. I don't need DirecTV. I don't need your whatever you have, whatever you're selling.
What news are you trying to talk about?
Adrian Wojnarowski leaving ESPN. Their lead NBA guy, the guy we wait on pins
He's
and
leaving?
needles to give us updates and who's going where, and he's leaving to become the general manager
Whatever that
for
means.
St. Bonaventure basketball. Peter King just put something on Twitter that I thought was great. He's leaving this high-profile job at ESPN that probably pays an exorbitant
Said he
amount
left
of money.
$20 million on the table.
And he's at the age of 55. He's decided, you know what? I'm going to dial back a little. I think it's commendable, remarkable, fantastic. I love it. I love everything about it. We're asking these people to do so much. I mean, the pressure that we
Yeah, it's not necessary.
we put on these people that are paid to be first with everything. And you know what he's saying? Thank you, ESPN, but screw you. I'm going to go do something that will be fun. I've got enough money.
It's his alma mater.
Will help me be around my family more. And boy, I think that's the story of the day.
Well, I think that's fantastic.
Yeah,
mean,
more
why
power
not?
to him. If you can do it, absolutely.
Something that he's probably still going to be involved in that he likes to do, something new, but probably pretty comfortable in where he's going to end up, and you get to leave the rigmarole of the NBA and everything. I think that's why wouldn't you? If you
I think
left
it's-
$20 million on the table, he's probably okay.
Who else
He
did
must be.
something like this recently? Oh, Dana O'Neill from The Athletic. She left that job to go to Villanova as an senior associate athletic director. That's her alma mater. And I'm sure it doesn't pay what she was getting at The Athletic, although it's probably closer. But I thought it was interesting. Dana O'Neill's been on the college basketball beat forever. And decided, you know what? This is going to be more fun.
Well, then
That
why?
should be what it's about.
Yeah, why wouldn't you do it?
Enjoy your job.
I
Well, that's why I'm mentioning it.
think it's fantastic. Good for them.
It is good for them. And I hope you're being sincere. I think
I am
you are.
being
Wouldn't we be?
It's
being
hard to
sincere?
tell with you two.
No, I'm 100% behind that.
You get
is always
together on a
sincere.
show, and it's hard to tell.
Dude is always sincere.
Always?
Yes.
If we're talking about something like that, yeah. If we're talking about stupid stuff, then no. Very
See, this
rarely.
is how I see Duda at a bar in Sexsmith back in the day.
Oh.
Kind of that cockeyed look at you. If we're talking about...
What are we
just before
talking
he gets
about?
ready to punch you.
That's a good presence, though. That's
Just before he gets ready to
who
punch
wouldn't want to
We're
hang
sitting
out with
at
that
the-
guy?
We're sitting at the Sexsmith Alamo,
Ah,
having a cocktail.
can't wait. I can't wait
Oh,
to do it someday.
We need to go up there and just get to the Alamo for.
Next time you go, I'm so in.
There's four rooms upstairs in the hotel.
Ah,
Oh, if we could stumble up there, oh, it'd be great. There's no elevator,
stumble up there.
but if we go in the
Now,
summer,
see, that makes me wish I was 45 again. Because even 55, I did all this stuff in my 50s that I don't know that I could pull off now as I approach 70.
I don't know if I could do it
I
anymore.
probably wouldn't.
Here's
even
what I
make
did
an
in
attempt.
3 consecutive summers. Deadwood, South Dakota for 5 or 6 days. We were going to go to Seattle and all that. We were going to do. We had big plans.
Oh, yeah.
We made it to Deadwood. We loved it so much we stayed. The next summer, New York City to see the Eagles, and then the next summer, Dublin, Ireland. Back to back to back summers. I did that.
You're the man.
Now I won't leave my front lawn.
Well, if you get up to the Sexsmith Alamo, we can retrace it all in that bar.
I can't wait to go.
Oh, it'll be unbelievable. Oh,
14-day drive.
yeah. The sun will be up for 22 hours.
Oh,
We'll walk out at 2:30. It'll still be dusky. It'll be awesome.
so enticing. All right, Jeff and I will be on the show tomorrow. Duda back on Friday of this week. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We appreciate it more than you know. We'll see you tomorrow.